Today we're going to talk about the graduation application. I will walk you through the steps to filling out your graduation application and where to find the appropriate information. Let's first start by downloading the application from the registrar's website. Most of you know how to get to the registrar's website, but let's walk through it anyways. From the main NAU website, you'll go to Quick Links, R for Registrar, and then you're going to find the registrar's name. This will bring you to their main website. From here, you're going to find the graduation application under Forms and Policies on the left-hand side of your screen. All the graduation documents are located at the very bottom of the page. You're going to look for Graduation Application and Instructions. You can download it as a Word file or a PDF. What's nice about the Word file is that it is fillable, so if you do not have legible handwriting, this may be the best option. So we're going to go ahead and save that to our computer and open it up. Next thing you're going to want to do is pull up your LUI portal. We're going to be using the Degree Progress Report. So go up to Quick Links and then LUI and log in. This is going to be your student portal. Degree Progress Report is going to be located on the left-hand side under Degree Progress. So go ahead and open that up. We're going to come back to the Degree Progress Report in just a few moments. But for now, let's go back to the graduation application. The first two pages of the application are instructions. Be sure to read these over once we are done here to make sure you do not forget anything. But let's go to the important stuff. The actual application will start on page 3. At the very top left-hand side, you will see statewide location. If you're a Flagstaff Mountain campus student, please leave this blank. Next is going to be your catalog of graduation. This is going to be generally from when you started at NAU. If you're not quite sure what that is, we'll come back to that as well. Go ahead and fill in your student ID number and user ID. Student ID number is a 7-digit number that's located on your student ID card. The user ID is the first part of your NAU email. It generally includes letters and numbers. Next, we're going to fill in the information you should know about yourself. Your full name, as you want it to appear on your diploma, your contact phone number, as well as your diploma address. One thing about the diploma address, be sure that this is a permanent address, and we will not ship to P.O. boxes. If you're planning on moving within 4 months after graduation, you should probably have your diploma mailed to your parents, your grandparents, a close friend, someone you know will not be moving in the coming months after graduation. Okay. The next area we're going to fill in is information about your degree. Bachelor's of something. There are many different types of bachelor's degrees at NAU. The main types we have in SBS are Bachelor's of Arts, Bachelor's of Science, Bachelor's of Fine Arts, Bachelor's of Social Work, and Bachelor's of Science in Journalism. If you're still unsure, when we go to the Degree Progress Report, I will show you where you can find that. For those students who are dual degrees, if you have 2 majors, they may be different bachelor's types, which would be a dual degree versus a dual major. For example, if you're an anthropology major and an advertising major, you will need to fill out 2 applications. Why? Because anthropology is a Bachelor's of Arts and advertising is a Bachelor's of Science. However, if you're an advertising major and a public relations major, you will only need 1 application, as both of these degrees are Bachelor's of Science. The next area you're going to fill out is your term of graduation. Students can graduate in spring, summer, fall, and winter. This will be the last semester that you will be taking courses. For example, if your last class is in summer, you will put down summer. The year, this is going to be what year it's in. For example, summer 2013. Now we're going to move on to put in your majors, your minor, emphasis, or certificates. If you have more than one major, we provided multiple lines there. If you have more than one minor, but you have no certificates, you can go ahead and cross out the word certificate and put minor. If your major has an emphasis, be sure to identify what your emphasis is. For example, visual communication majors can put down either a graphic design or interactive design as their emphasis. So go ahead and fill in those areas. Don't worry about the code area. The advisors will fill those in when we review your applications. For advisor, you can put down who you've been working with, or you can leave it blank and we'll fill it in. Same with the phone number. If you know the phone number, go ahead and fill that in too. If not, we will. The next section of the report is where we see the most mistakes. This is why I had you pull up your degree progress report. We're going to be filling in the list of courses in progress or to be completed. So let's talk about the degree progress report for a moment and some of the key points that you're going to want to check out. So go ahead and go to your degree progress report. At the top is information about you. It'll have your name and your student ID number. So if you're unsure about your ID number, here it is. The next portion of it will be information about any external degrees you may have, such as an associate's, a previous bachelor's degree, your high school diploma. All of that will be listed there. Then will come any transfer credits you may have, and then test credits. For those students who transferred in from another university or community college, please make sure that all courses you previously took are listed here. If they're not, make a note of what's missing. The next portion is your undergraduate record here at NAU. This shows all the courses you took during your undergraduate career. This is where you're going to get the information to list the courses in progress or to be completed for your graduation application. You will list anything that we do not currently have a grade for. This includes any courses you are currently taking, have enrolled into for next semester, or will be enrolling into, any incompletes from previous semesters that you're currently working on, and also any transfer credits that are not posted on your account. So now let's go back to the graduation application. For institution, you'll be putting where you're taking the classes or where they're going to be transferring in from. Most likely, you're going to be putting NAU because probably the majority of your classes are going to be taken at NAU. If you take it from a community college, such as Coconino Community College, you're going to put what that institution is in there. The next part seems very self-explanatory, but I see so many students mess this up. The course that we're looking for is just the prefix and the number. If you're taking the advertising capstone, all I care about is the ADV 411C. I don't care about the title, the section number, if there's a specific topic in there. So just list the prefix and the numbers. Next is how many units it's for. So if it's a 3-unit class, you're going to put 3. If it's a 4, 4, 1, etc. After that's going to be the term you're taking it in. So go ahead and fill in the rest of the classes you're going to be taking. In the section for term and year, if you're taking both spring and summer classes, be sure to distinguish between spring and summer. Using S for both confuses us. So either use SP for spring or SU for summer, some way to distinguish between the two. That last column with the star, don't worry about that. That's for the advisor's use only. This is how we notate if a course requires a C or better, if this is an incomplete from a previous semester, etc. So go ahead and just leave that section blank. If you run out of space when listing your courses in progress or to be completed, there's more room on the second page. The next section we're going to be looking at is the requirement checkboxes on the right-hand side. This is a good time to run through your degree progress report and make sure that nothing is bolded. The last place we left off on the degree progress report was your undergraduate record. After that, the next section pertains to all NAU students. This includes your catalog year. So if you were not sure what your catalog year was, this is where you find it. Now go back to your graduation application and fill that in. Okay, now back to degree progress report. This next section after the catalog year is where we find students missing the most requirements, whether it be upper division units, units from a four-year institute, or units to reach 120. If any of these are bold, go back to your list of courses that you have left to complete and make sure that those classes will fulfill these requirements and you're not missing anything. The next section after that will be your diversity requirements. This includes both your ethnic and your global diversity. If both of those are unbolded, you can go back to your graduation application and check off those boxes. This is also where you can find information if you're confused on what type degree you had. For example, here we have advertising major BS plan. The BS stands for Bachelor's of Science. You could also have a BA, Bachelor's of Arts, BFA, Bachelor's of Fine Arts, etc. So if you had questions, this is the area that you can find it. Next comes liberal studies. Be sure to check for any bold in this area. If something is bolded, that means that you have something left to complete. So be sure to include those into your schedule for next semester. After liberal studies comes information about your major and as well as your minors. Be sure that all bold is gone in these areas. If you see bold, take a look at what is missing. If you know you haven't taken the course, you'll want to enroll into it. If you're unsure, talk with an advisor. So continue through the rest of your degree progress report, check for any bold. Okay, so let's go back to the graduation application. So since we went through, be sure to check off all those boxes that we talked about a second ago, the ethnic diversity, liberal studies, etc. The next section we're going to complete is your current NAU cumulative GPA. You're going to find this back on your undergraduate record, part of your degree progress report. So scroll back up to that. You're going to find this in the very last line, cumulative GPA. We're going to get a lot of information out of this last line. So fill that into your graduation application. The last section here is information to make sure you reach 120. Number 1, total hours completed. This includes NAU and transfer credits. Go back to degree progress report. On the same line that you got your cumulative GPA is where we're going to get this number. The important number we're looking for is that middle number right there. This takes into account all your NAU classes as well as your transfer classes that have posted. The first number is just taking into account NAU coursework. The last number is used to calculate GPA. So the most important number is that middle number. Now go back to your graduation application and put that number into line 1. Number 2 is remaining hours in progress or to be completed. This should be the total of what you have listed on your application. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 27, 28 units left to complete. Number 3 is going to be adding number 1 and number 2 together. So I will graduate with 153 units. You always want to make sure this number is above 120 because that 120 is the minimum we need in order to graduate. So number 4, total hours required for degree. All SBS students will put 120 plus. The second page of your application is for students who run out of room when listing courses remaining. However, all students must turn in the second page of the application. So go ahead and put your name and student ID number on the second page. The only thing left to do now is print off your application, print off your degree progress report, sign your application, and turn it in. Congratulations, you just filled out your graduation application.